Hi, my name is Karen Franks, and I am a musician. Miss Jack asked me to do some questions for you, so I want to tell you a little bit about what I do. I've got the questions handy. I am a music teacher, like Miss Jack, and I am also a practicing musician. So my primary instrument, my main instrument, is actually the flute. So here's my flute. And my lowest sound, my lowest note is way down here. And the highest note, you might want to plug your ears. That's my highest note on it. And I have been playing this since I was 12 years old. Not this exact flute, but actually I've been playing this exact flute since I was about 15. But when I was in elementary school, I started on a recorder. You guys may have already started on a recorder. So I started with one of these in elementary school. So you guys have already learned to play that, perhaps, and play some BAG songs on it. I also play some other woodwind instruments. I play saxophone, and I have played that in some jazz bands and stuff. And I've also played clarinet some. And then sometimes I get to play this. This is a piccolo, and it's like a flute, only it's smaller, so you can imagine that the tone goes really high. And another thing about me is that I am Native American. I'm an Indian from the Wyandot tribe. My tribal symbol is actually a turtle, and this is a Native American flute. So those are some of the instruments that I play. I also play a little bit of violin. And I teach lessons on violin and viola and cello and those instruments. And another instrument you might see at school, I play ukulele. But I didn't learn to play this until I started teaching it at school. Alright, and then the next question, why did I decide to pursue music? So I have always grown up loving music, and I went through some really tough times when I was a kid. Maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you had some really tough times. My parents were divorced, and there were some bad things that happened while I was growing up, but I turned to music, and I was able to play my flute, and all of the pain and all of the anger and other stuff around me kind of went into my flute, and out came beautiful music instead. And I really learned to use the flute to make me feel better, to make me feel like I was good at something, and to release all my feelings that I had. Even the good feelings sometimes would get too much for me. So I learned to play the flute to do that. And I wanted to be a music teacher so that I could teach kids how to do that too. Because you never know who's going through things or what they might be going through, and that was important to me, to be able to help other people with that. Also, I just really love to make music, and it's fun, and the cool thing about it is, even if you make a mistake, it's not really a mistake, the same way like getting a question wrong on a math test is a mistake. So I like that about it too. What do I do every day as a musician? Well, right now, if we weren't in quarantine, what I would be doing is I would be going to school every day and teaching music to my students. And then in the afternoons after school, I teach private lessons on the flute and the violin mostly. And then, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year, I will play in a musical or a concert. And so somebody will pay me, and I will go to rehearsals and practice with other musicians. And we put on a concert, or we put the music to a play, a musical play, or some other situation like that. Or sometimes somebody will be opening an art gallery or have a wedding or something where they want some background music, and I might be playing something like that. To study music in college, I'm going to tell you the truth, it's tough. The things that you study in college with music, you study about the science of how music is made, you study the math part of it, and it's some really intense math. You didn't really know that until you get into it, but once you start studying it, the way that music is written out is really math. And I had to practice a lot. When I was in college, I probably practiced 5 hours a day. I had to practice my main instrument, the flute. I had to practice my minor instrument, the saxophone. I had to practice piano because you have to learn to play piano to be a music major in college. And whatever instrument classes I was taking. So when I was taking bassoon classes or trombone classes or whatever the classes were, I had to practice those instruments too. So it's a lot of work, and the challenging part of it is keeping up with all the work. It's just, there's so much, and if you are a music education major, which I was, you have to study how to be a teacher and study the music. So that's twice as much going on. So it was challenging doing that. But the best part is I got to be really good at a lot of different instruments. I got to spend a lot of time making music. I got to play music with other people who were really good as well. So that was a great experience. And I'm still friends with all of the people, not all of the people, but most of the people that I was in band with in high school, I'm still friends with. Most of the people I was in college with, learning to be a musician, I'm still friends with, and we talk all the time. And those are lifelong friendships because it's a really deep thing that you do. Music shaped who I am today. Well, I believe that I'm here today because of music. When I was a teenager and when I was a child, my life was just so difficult that I don't know if I could have made it through without music. If you are interested in being a professional musician, then you absolutely should learn to be a professional musician. If you wanted to be a teacher, or if you want to play in a symphony, usually if you play in a symphony, you are also a teacher because symphonies don't pay as well as a lot of people would like. But if you love to play an instrument, you absolutely should always play that instrument. And when you are in middle school and you get to choose a band instrument, choose one you like to play and have fun playing it. If you hate it, maybe you should try a different instrument. A lot of people want to quit band because they don't like their instrument, but sometimes you just need to try a different instrument and keep playing. And when you go to college, if you love to play your instrument, but you want to be a doctor, or you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be an accountant, or whatever you want to do, you can still be in band or orchestra in college, and you can still play that instrument and have fun in school, in college, and still get better at that instrument, because a lot of people play instruments their entire lives. Albert Einstein is famous for being a famous scientist and physicist, but he was also a violinist, and he has said if he had not been a scientist, he probably would have been a professional musician. So I hope you have enjoyed learning a little bit about my instruments and about me, and I wish you a lot of luck in your music classes, and if you decide to continue being a musician, good luck with that too. It's a great job. Bye.